You gonna get
Yeah,
that fly?
I'm
Bust
busting
him.
it.
Welcome back to another episode of the Living Level. We're back at you today, just myself and T. And first off, we want to apologize for missing a few episodes, but we've been wide open the past few weeks with work and with the lodge, getting everything ready for Christmas. You can see the big tree behind us there. Um, Sunday we was here pretty much all day long
We had nothing to
wrapping.
do with that tree.
No, that was our wives did that.
They're for hire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, we wrapped, I don't know how many hundreds of presents. There's about 8 people out here wrapping, people unboxing, people breaking down boxes. It was it was a wild day here, but hopefully we'll get back on track. Appreciate all the patience and everything, and hanging out with us. Um, I guess this week we thought about it, and last week we kind of shared one of the symbols with you, the beehive, and I reckon this week we were trying to think of another one to pick, and Brother T has had the word hope in his mind the past few days for some reason. He's not sure why yet. Maybe it'll come out during this episode and discussion and stuff. But one of our symbols in masonry is the anchor, and you can Google hope and the biblical meanings behind hope, and usually there's always an anchor attached to hope somewhere. And in our monitor, as one of the symbols of the lodge, uh, hope is denoted as an anchor, uh, because you can when you're on a bad ocean, ships getting tossed back and forth, you can pull into a safe harbor and throw your anchor, and that's your hope that the storm's going to pass and the seas are going to calm, and you can get back out there on the ocean. So that's why anchor tends to be tied with hope, and I think it's something not a lot of people talk about. We always cover brotherly love and other topics and stuff like that in the lodge, but I don't think hope comes up a whole lot. I don't know if it's people just don't understand it or just an overlooked topic or what, but we'll struggle through it and try to break it down best we can.
That's normally what we do anyhow.
Yeah, we just kind of go with the flow and see
Just
where it leads.
let the hair go and hide, baby.
But it's been on your mind the past few days, T.
Yeah, you were like I told you earlier. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Uh, Christmas is Christmas time.
Yeah. You got a lot of people worried.
Yeah, and some people wonder, when because everybody's had those struggles during the holiday seasons. Where, man, am I going to be able to get gifts for the kids? Or am I going to be able to do this? Or am I going to be able to do that? You know, they worry about it. But I was taught that worrying gets you nowhere.
Yeah.
And I just, I don't know, maybe I took all my worry and I turned it into hope. I hope I can do it. And I know that if I, you know,
Mm-hmm.
throw my anchor out, that it's going to lock onto the solid rock and I ain't got to have hope no more.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll be taken care of. All you got to do is ask.
Mm-hmm.
But for some people, that's hard to do. As a worry ward, I know where they come from.
Yeah, yeah. I'm bad about
I'm
that.
bad about worrying.
Whether I show it or not,
Yeah.
in my mind,
Oh yeah.
I'm falling apart.
That's the that's a man's worst place is right there in his mind.
Yeah.
That's a bad spot. But I live there a lot too. But I don't know. Uh, that seems like that's the time when hope's needed most.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I was fixing to bust him. But I don't know. It has. It's been on my mind a couple of days and wondering what we were going to talk about tonight. And that's why I just told you maybe we'll just we'll talk about hope, because it is part of our Masonic journey.
Mm-hmm.
So, we might as well do our best as Masons to shine that light of hope, regardless of what we might be shining it for, what that
Mm-hmm.
person's hopeful for. Hopeful for gifts for their kids, or hopeful they're going to get another paycheck, or hopeful that they're going to have food on the table, or hopeful they're going to have a warm place to sleep, you know. And sometimes we're all the hope some people have. Like we talked about in the last episode, the Masons during the Holocaust that set up the lodge in the concentration camp, Masonry may have been the only hope they had left.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we as Masons share that light of hope enough?
And that hope, to me, hope and faith go hand in hand too. Um, like if you're talking spiritually, you have faith in God, which gives you the hope that there's a better life.
Yeah.
There's a hope that in the end we're going to be on top.
Right.
We're going to be the winners in the end. And but even if you're not a religious person, that hope and faith still go hand in hand, because you're hoping for a better life, and you got to have faith in your community or your friends or your family,
Right.
to see that hope through. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like I said, with God, having faith in God and Him carrying you through to that end hope that you're hoping for. Your community needs to be that stepping up and giving that family, like you said, we may be the only hope somebody has
Right.
to get through whatever they're going through.
I mean, we and I don't know. Maybe somebody, more smarter, way better, more knowledgeable than old T-Boy can explain it to me, but I wonder why it ain't talked about a lot in Lodge.
I don't know.
You cover it a little bit, and then that's it.
Yeah. You don't really, I mean, like me personally in my journey through Masonry, I was never the arc and anchor, whatever, was never told to me. It wasn't something I discovered till I read my monitor
Yeah.
after I became a Mason, and I've never heard it in the first when we did our education the other night and did the 7 symbols, 9 symbols, or whatever in the book. That was the first time I've heard it talked about in open law.
Yeah.
The anchor and the hope that's tied to it. I don't know.
Well, I looked it up and I wrote it down because I wouldn't remember it. But the Bible portrays hope as a firm, confident expectation in God's promises,
Mm-hmm.
an anchor for the soul in trials, and a source of strength, joy, and future preservation. Rooted in faith in Jesus' resurrection, promising eternal life, and empowering believers to endure suffering with patience and trust in God's unfailing love and plan for them.
Mm.
Reminds me of a old quartet song. I cast my anchor of hope into the sea of faith.
Mm.
There's somebody out there that doing the same thing. They might be down to the last little bit of flour and last little bit of wheat, whatever it may be. And they're going to cast their anchor of hope into the sea of faith. And they're going to pray to the good Lord that somebody shows up. We should be those people that stand up. Yes, Lord, send me.
Mm.
Because we talk about it all the time. Charity and brotherly love and being out in your community, but do we really mean it?
Mm.
When the rubber meets the road, are we, man, I was thinking I sure would like to go do that. I feel like I ought to go check on these people. but the fish are biting.
Mhm.
Or man, the rut's going on.
Mm.
It's too cold outside. I'm gonna stay in today, in front of this heater or this fireplace or whatever it may be.
Mm.
But
Is there somebody in your community that doesn't have a heater or fireplace?
right, I mean, if it goes to tugging on you, there's
Mhm.
a reason. Don't ignore it. I think sometimes people ignore the still small voice,
Mhm.
instead of just getting out and doing it.
I did that one time. So I told myself I would never do it again because that was the worst I ever felt in my life. And it was uh, when I first started going on my spiritual journey, however you want to say it, learning about God and giving myself to God and letting Him take all my troubles and stuff like that. Letting Him use me. Do with me whatever you will. Putting my total faith in God. We were at a restaurant one time. That was when I still lived in Kentucky. I don't even remember the restaurant, whatever. But the one part of the I would never forget. I'm in the parking lot. I usually always go out to my truck before everybody else does. My wife handles. She has all the money, so she's in there paying. I'll go out to my truck and wait on her. We was with her family doing. So we was celebrating something. But anyway, I get out there and there's this guy with holding his sign up, asking for money. First thing that goes to my head is like, oh, somebody else begging for money. That's
Probably got a Cadillac parked around back.
yeah,
I
because
know.
you never know anymore.
Right,
It's not.
right.
But in my gut was saying I needed to go over there and pray with that man. But the way my mind was at that time, I was like, man, I don't want to look like no fool out here praying for this dude in this parking lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been in that situation or if anybody has, but that's where I was. That's where my mind was. I was like, I ain't going to look like a fool praying for this dude in front of this packed parking lot. I was like, he'll be all right. And I keep telling myself, he probably does have a nice car parked around the corner. I'm trying to justify me not going over there. And then the family come out, we get in the truck and we leave. I could not sleep that night. I felt like crap. Like that I could not stop thinking about that. And the next day, it's like my mind shifted. It's like it shouldn't have mattered if he had a Cadillac. It wasn't like I was going over there and giving him anything. I was just supposed to go over there and pray with him.
But you may have gave him that hope.
If I'd have went over there and prayed with him, I may have give him a hope if he was struggling, or it may have opened his eyes if he was pulling the wool over everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It could have went either way. That may have been why I was needing to go pray for him because he was lying to everybody. He does live a good life.
Yeah.
Or he really was struggling and somebody praying for him may have given him a little bit of hope. And that's why I said never again. If I ever get a gut feeling to pray for somebody, I don't care where I'm at, I'm going to do it. And so far I've done it. That gut feeling like I had that day, so far I've prayed with people in gas station parking lots. I prayed with people on the side of the road. Me and a buddy of mine up in Kentucky, we hit up there was a dude that was going through detox. And his sister called us and wanted us to come pray with him, pray for him. It was a far drive. She said, I'll meet you halfway. We met at a truck stop parking lot. This guy's in this car shaking, sweating. You can tell this dude was going through some detox. Full gas station parking lot. We broke down and prayed for him right there. Last I heard, that's been a while ago, but he was doing good because he couldn't believe that two strangers would go out of their way just to pray for him. So
And the whole right there, he probably hoped
that
that
was
y'all would
that
show.
hope. Yeah. And it's something simple. It was nothing out of my pocket. It was just 20, 30 minutes talking to this stranger at a gas station and praying for him and doing what God told me to do.
Changed his whole life.
Last I heard, he was doing great.
Which
Like I
is
said, it's
worth
been
more
years
than
ago.
anything else you could have gave him.
Mm-hmm. To get him through that detox. So that's, yeah. Because it's always when you get in that situation, you don't know what to do. And then when that situation passes, you sit there and think of the 50 million things you could have done.
Yeah.
should have done. And now I don't. If it makes me look like an idiot, it does.
Hey, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all. Sometimes the Lord wants you to get out of your comfort zone.
Hmm.
A lot of people are scared of that.
And I mean, the Bible even tells you people. I'm paraphrasing, but people will peg you as a fool in God's name because you're doing work for God. They'll peg you as an idiot.
Yeah.
You'll look like an idiot doing some of the stuff you got to do that He asked you to do, and that goes back to that manifold blessings we talked about. You got one outlet going in and a bunch coming out. But God tells you to do something, you better go out and do it.
That's right. That's right.
I feel this lodge has been getting blessed a lot through the people that go here, through outside entities that we have connections with. There's been a lot of blessings coming into these doors here lately. So that in turn, there's about to be a lot of blessings coming out these doors and going into that community,
Oh yeah.
spreading the hope
It,
that there is still
good people out there.
good people out there that's willing to put in some long hours and some hard work to make sure they got a little bit of hope.
I mean, our first year that we did Sam Todd Santa, we hoped to have enough. Then we hoped we ran out. This year we had to hope to find a place to put it.
Mm-hmm.
And you just, I don't know. You can't, I don't think you can live your life without hope.
Then what would you have to live for?
I, I don't know. I'm sure there's people out there that think you can, but
I mean, it's a
I
daily.
just don't, you know.
It's a daily. It is a daily thing, whether you know it or not. Hope is daily. You wake up every morning. I hope I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And then you get up. I hope I make it to work without crashing. Oh, I hope I don't get fired today. Oh, I hope there's a hot meal when I get home. Or, you know what I mean? Like every
Yeah.
day is nothing but hope. That's what it is looking forward and hoping there's going to be something there when you get there. And there's a lot of people that have that hope and it's not there.
Yeah. And you wonder how they make it. You wonder how, you know,
Right.
they're still smiling.
Yeah. And
Somebody,
there's that faith. That's where faith comes
yeah.
in. Is faith that you're going to get through this storm. That anchor's going to catch somewhere in a good place and hold you still long enough for the storm to pass.
Well, somebody told me the other day, one of the guys that worked for us, one of our trustees, you know, he's hoping that he's going to be getting out pretty soon. And he said that, because I told him, I said, well, the Lord gives you ample opportunity to do right. He'll never leave you or forsake you regardless of what, you're in the middle of.
Mm-hmm.
I said, this is your season. This is your storm you're going through being in jail. And he said, it's been a storm. I said, oh yeah, I'm sure it has. He said, but I have figured out that you don't always have to worry about the storm. And that you can be an example for people while you go through your storms.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, let's see how he put it. He said, the way you can be an example for other people is they see how you dance in the rain.
Hmm. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I believe he'll do all right when he gets out if he keeps that mentality.
I hope so.
And that's where your faith comes in. And I am a man of faith, and I always go back to the Bible because we're taught in Masonry that's our rule and guide of life. And there's a part in the Bible where Jesus and these other people are on this boat crossing the river, and a storm comes, and the boat's being thrown, and everybody's scared. Jesus is actually taking a nap, and they wake him up, and they're like, "Hey, we're not going to make it.
Get up,
This
Paul."
storm's dude, you got to do something." And he's like, "Didn't you hear me say we're going to go to the other side?
Yeah.
Ye of little faith." If he says you're going to get there, you're going to get there. Maybe a storm to cross in the middle, but you're going to get there. And that's that hope. And, instead of freaking out, they hung to that hope. We're going to make it to the other side. Why? Because he said we are.
Well.
So we're going to get there. We just got to grit our teeth and dance in the rain.
Yeah. You wonder if Peter had hope when he stepped out of the boat. I hope my faith's big enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Bloop.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
As long as he kept his eyes on him, he's doing pretty good.
That's what it tells you. Keep your eyes on him, and you'll be doing fine. And sometimes you wonder how people get in some of them spots that they get in. And I don't know, but the way my mind thinks is maybe their manifolds capped off. And because the Bible tells you if you can't do good things with little, then I can't trust you with a lot.
Yeah.
So some of these people may be getting tested. Can I trust you with a little before I give you a lot?
Yeah.
Because I was in that point too for a little while, one point in my life. And that's when some of my close friends, you've got to learn to work with little before you start getting blessings. And that's what brought me out of that hole. They give me that hope that if I start living a little different, things will get a little better. And putting my faith in God and stuff. When I started coming through, turning a leaf in my life. So some of these people that are struggling, that we need to hold our hand out, that might be that little hope where they uncap that manifold and realize, hey, maybe I do need to start helping people a little more than what I do, and leaning on people, not keeping it all inside, whatever you're doing,
Yeah.
just that little nudge of, hey man, we're here.
I know it doesn't say it anywhere. I know it talks about faith, because hope and faith pretty much, I believe, pretty much have to go together. And you only got to have a faith the size of a mustard seed.
Mm-hmm.
How much hope you got to have?
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
How much? Can't be too much.
No, I mean, because
If all you got to have is a
Mm.
mustard seed, a mustard seed ain't much bigger than the tip of a pin.
Yeah.
That's all you got to have. Well, you ain't got to have a whole lot of hope. But you got to, I don't know if you got to look for that hope, or, maybe you shouldn't have to look for it. Maybe it should be there. Maybe there should be an example for you somewhere every day that there's still hope. My grandma's favorite thing is where there's breath, there's hope.
True story.
So, I just don't see how you live life without it.
You can't. You can't.
I mean, when you're down in the lion's den, you hope you're going to make it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I mean, being a big guy too, every time I sit in a chair, I'm like, I hope this chair holds me, Bubba. So you got to have faith in the person that made that chair and hope that it's going to hold you.
Yeah. Hope he was awake that day.
yeah. Hope it's ain't a night shift chair.
Yeah.
That's what hope is there in everything you do on a daily basis, whether you think about it or not. And there's people out there struggling, hoping they can get through their situation that they're in.
Yeah.
And it may be as simple as, hey man, I'm just here to check on you.
Yeah.
See is there anything you need, something we can do for you? You know, hell, I really don't have a good heater in my house. But you can go to Ollie's and spend $30 and get a little oil-filled heater. And that might be the only boop that puts them in a better mood and gets them out of their cloud,
Yeah. Somebody asked one time, we were talking about the things that masonry does that people would probably consider secretive, cloak and dagger, stuff like that. For us, it's just how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, we don't think that if we do a good deed that we should run it on the 7 o'clock news or put it in the front paper of the American Press or make a Facebook post about it with pictures attached.
Because it's in the Bible. It says don't do that.
You know? So we were talking about that one night around a fire, and somebody asked, so let's say that, or asked, do y'all leave a note if y'all go drop something off somewhere? You know, somebody's been praying for hope. And you get tugged, your heartstrings get tugged, and you feel that you need to do this, you know, and you may be the hope that they need. Do you leave a note? And we said, no, we don't leave anything. And we were questioned as to why.
Mm-hmm.
And we said, because we don't believe we don't need the recognition. And the person said, well, I would leave a note. And we asked, what would your note say? Well, Jesus loves you, or from God, or something like that. And we said, well, that's okay. I mean, that's good. But if you're a mom in there, and you got a hungry baby, and you're wondering how you're going to feed that baby formula or whatever it may be, and there's just a little light tap on your door, and you open it, and there's a case of formula on the front porch, who's the first person you're going to think?
Oh, thank God.
So why do you need to leave a note?
Well,
the Lord don't say, well, that mama there needs a little formula, abracadabra bee, and poof, there's formula on the porch. You know what I'm saying? It's not magic.
Well, I'm not to open up a can.
It's too late. I'm sure I have.
Well, I've been part of those conversations, and I think I was part of that particular conversation you're talking about. And they were talking about leaving the church's name.
Oh, it may have been. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Donated by
such and such.
Such and
may
such.
have been.
I'll leave them. I won't say any names of any churches because I don't want to badmouth church because there's good churches out there.
Oh yeah.
But that's what kind of got my blood boiling when they said something about the church's name being attached, donated by such and such.
Yeah.
Because in the Bible it tells you don't run, scream, and shout your good deeds in the streets like the Pharisees do. You know, keep your mouth shut about it. Just do it. Let your Father in heaven bless you for your good deeds. Don't worry about what man thinks.
Yeah.
And you couldn't have summed it up any better because if I was in that situation and I stepped on my porch, whether I had faith like I do now or not, that's probably the first thing I'd have thought was, oh, thank God. I mean, and that's usually everybody's thought, whether they're atheists or anything.
Yeah.
When
they're just
get in a wreck, they check, oh, thank God.
Yeah, I'm just all dressed up, nowhere to go. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
I mean, and I think that right there, let's say that happened. Well, somebody's hoping that the Lord hears their prayers. But you wonder, while they're hoping that the Lord hears their prayers, that they need something. Do you think that in the back of their mind they're hoping that somebody listens when the Lord tugs on them a little bit? You know? much hope do you need?
Mm.
I just don't think it's talked about enough.
It's not. I don't believe it is. Maybe this will spark some conversations
Some debates.
in communities and lodges. Yeah. And, feel free to leave comments on what y'all think about it.
I mean, you gotta have hope in something,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what it might be. You gotta have some. And I mean, as in the world that we live in today, as dark and as uncertain and as bad off as it is,
Mm-hmm.
as Masons and as lodges, as human beings, lodge and masonry aside, as human beings, there should be enough light in us
Mm-hmm.
to shine through the darkness to give somebody a little hope that it can get better. It will get better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, each of us should shine the light of hope just as bright as we possibly can
Mm-hmm.
until the day that our light is put out and we go to that Grand Lodge above. You know, but shine it bright enough where there ain't no question,
Mm-hmm.
because there's too many of those in this world. Too many people wondering,
Mm-hmm.
is this really? I mean, it's bad. Is this how it's going to be? I hope for a better tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's be that better tomorrow.
And sometimes it may just take somebody sitting down and talking with them, saying, "Hey, man, I was in your same exact spot.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And this is what I did to get here." Whatever, you know what I mean? And that gives them a little bit of hope. Well, you know, if he can get through this, I can get through this.
Yeah. I mean, I can do it. Anybody can do it.
Well, it's like today, at the office at work, going to the academy.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, "Cuz I did it." Well, it gives me a little bit of hope that I can make it. It's a little hope that I need.
Yeah. But I mean, and I think sometimes Christmas season we get we get forgetful. Maybe not all the time, and maybe not everybody, but sometimes we get forgetful.
I think people get caught up in,
The season instead of the reason.
yeah, that they get caught up in the, oh, I gotta buy this gift for this person, this gift for that. I gotta make sure all my family's got this, and you know, gifts for that and gifts for that. And you can ask my wife every Christmas. I'm like, for a long time, I've always told my wife, I'm, look, we don't need nothing. Our kids old enough, they don't need nothing. You know what I mean? Maybe there's somebody out there that does need something. You know.
Well, my wife told me first Christmas after we were married. Well, yeah, she come in and she said, "Where do you get a guy that's got everything?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, when you married me, you got everything." I said, "Well, I don't guess anything, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe a new pair of underwear, a pair of socks, if that's okay, you
That's
know."
it. That's it.
But somebody out there ain't got everything, and they hope it.
Mm-hmm.
They hoping for a little light.
Mm.
So we just got to be that
It's a
little
deep
light.
subject. I know there's mornings I go to work after drinking that cup of coffee before I leave the house, and about halfway to work, woo! I hope I make it to work. that's that's some hard hope right there. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
I hope T's already there, and I hope the door's unlocked.
But hope's different for every person.
It is, but it is something they deal with every day, whether they know it or not, whether they want to call it hope or what. But it's there, and it goes right along with faith. I don't believe you can have one without the other. Whether you're a religious person or not, you got to put your faith in something and have hope it's going to be carried through. I choose to put my faith in God and hope that there's a life after this that's way better than this one. Because there's nothing on this earth that compares to the blessings in the afterlife of that grand lodge in the sky. It might not say it exactly like that in the Bible, but it's there.
I liked it. It was good.
Mhm.
I hope that after this conversation, and it goes out Friday, and people listen to it, maybe it stirs a little something in them. Maybe there's people that'll listen to it that need a little hope.
Mhm.
And maybe there's people that are afraid to get out of their comfort zone that needed to hear sometimes you gotta look like an idiot.
Yeah, that's like I said. That my comfort zone was I didn't want to look like an idiot in front of everybody, and because of that, I was sick for 3 or 4 days after that.
Yeah. But I do. I hope that if somebody's on the fence about, man, I ought to go down there and check on so and so, you may be their hope.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just never know what people's going through. You may be
We
the
ain't
hope.
gonna know if you don't
Right.
knock on that door and say,
Right.
"Hey."
I mean, it's just like joining the lodge. You didn't know nothing about it to begin with, but you hope it was the right decision.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you had to knock on that door first.
Mm.
Ain't no different than somebody else living down the road that may have everything, may not have no hope. Go knock on the door, talk to them. Check on your neighbors. Check on your family. Check on the people that nobody checks on.
Mm.
Check on the outcast. You know? What's the Bible say about that guy that's threw that big party and nobody showed up? He hoped people would show up. Nobody showed up. So he sent his servant to go out to the highways and the byways and compel them to come in.
Mm.
You know? He hoped then they would come, and then his house was full.
Mm.
All he wanted was to throw a party and hope people would show. All we got to do is shine that Masonic light of hope. People will see it. Those that need it.
Well, we were talking earlier. You was talking about Sam Todd and the first year that y'all did this at the lodge, and you said you had what, a few Walmart sacks full of presents.
Barely two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Oh, it worked. We hoped it worked, and it worked.
You were blessed with a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and he seen how you used that little bit, what you did with it, and then the next year,
Yeah, it was a little bigger.
mm-hmm, he seen what you did with that little bit more that he gave you. Now look at this year.
Yeah.
We got a whole room over there that you can't. There's one little path to walk through all the presents
I can't
that are
fit
stacked
through
to the ceiling
it. Yeah.
of stuff that was donated to us. That's gonna get passed out to the community and the kids.
Which is funny when you think about where it came from. Heroes for Hope.
Yep.
Pretty fitting.
Heroes for Hope.
Pretty fitting.
Mm-hmm.
And we hope there's not a present left.
Mm-hmm.
We hope there's that many kids show up. You know? We hope that all this hot cocoa that we're going to make is gone.
Yeah.
You know? We don't hope we run out before we get to take care of everybody, but we hope we run out.
Mm-hmm.
You know? We got 500 handmade ornaments. We hope we hand every one of them out.
Mm-hmm.
You know? We shouldn't have to hope. because we already know. We've seen the fruits of what little bit of labor we've done.
Mm-hmm.
And some will say, well, there's a lot of labor went into it. Well, it's a little bit when you think about the big picture.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, it's just like going and doing a fundraiser for something. Okay, talked about this with a brother of ours the other day. Good friend of mine, great guy. You set up and you hope you sell a 20-gallon pot of hobo stew. Okay, you hope you make $1,000, or you hope you make $20,000, whatever it is. That's the big picture.
Yeah.
Let's break it down frame by frame. Okay, when you go to breaking it down frame by frame, all right, so we made $500. Well, I hope we'd have done a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd have been nice. Well, let's break it down another frame. We paid for 2 scholarships for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that gives some kid that's going to be going to college a little hope. So, for those that go out and do fundraisers, and we do quite a few, you know, and we all have hope that it's going to be a huge success.
Oh yeah.
Break it down frame by frame. Would it be nice to donate $1 million to some organization that does great things? You bet you. Well, what if it takes you 20 years to donate that $1 million a little at a time? Oh well.
Mm-hmm.
Every little bit's going to bring somebody a little bit of hope.
Yep.
I think Christmas time, instead of being the season for gifts and all that, should be the season for hope. Everybody needs a good dose of it.
Come on.
And I think we get caught up in our day-to-days and the big pictures and the grand scheme of things and how we want it to go. And we forget that we just got to throw that anchor out. He'll take care of the rest. You know, we don't have to hope once we throw it out. Once it sets up, babe, once you anchor it out, you ain't got nowhere to go. Just enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know. I know Sam Todd Center this year is going to be amazing. It's going to be off the chain. We've hoped for it all year.
Yeah.
And I told the worshipful master yesterday evening, we was over here taking care of presents and wrapping and doing a little decorating and cleaning up, stuff like that. I sat down and told him, I said, Thomas Fox, one day I hope that lodge room, you can't get into it for everything stacked in there to be handed out.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I hope too. Some people sharing the same hope.
Mm-hmm.
And just think what you can do when you can get a group of people that have the same hope.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you went from a 6-bulb LED to a 10 million candle watt Q beam that you use for night hunting. You know,
Yeah.
your light just gets a little brighter.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just got to do that. You got to get with the same people sometimes that share the same ideals. Masonry is a great foundation for hope.
Mm-hmm.
You're all like-minded people. Get you a dose of it.
Get you some of that.
And don't be scared of it. Get
Don't
you
be
some
scared.
of it.
Don't be scared.
If you ain't scared to make 2 or 3 rounds at Thanksgiving dinner, get you another plate of hope.
Yeah.
I mean, when you wake up in the morning, most people, first thing to do is grab their phone. Well, don't forget your hope when you leave. You know, don't leave home without it.
Yeah.
If you got it, you got some faith that's going to come with it. Because, like we've said several times tonight, they go hand in hand.
Yes, sir.
What's Hebrews say about hope?
Oh, let me look it up real quick. A little handy dandy.
I think it
Bible
was
here.
chapter 11 or something like that.
Yeah, it was Hebrews 11. Probably could have found it quicker in my Bible in my back pocket. Hebrews 11, 1, 2, and 3. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good testimony. By faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which are visible.
Hope.
Hope. Right there with faith.
That's all I got to say.
I don't think any more needs to be said. If you got anything to add, put it in the comments of the video. And we'll talk about it next time around, or have a whole nother video on that topic again if we need to. But with all that said, this will go up this Friday. So I don't know if you'll see it soon enough, but Saturday is Sam Todd Santa at the lodge here. And it's all free. If you
9
got
to 1.
9 to 1. If you got kids, grandkids, or if you want to come out and help, we can always use some elves.
Yep.
So
We got plenty of work for each and every one that wants to come spread a little Christmas hope.
yeah.
Have hot chocolate. Well, we're going to have hot chocolate. But it's going to be Grinch hot chocolate.
Grinch hot chocolate.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how that turns out.
Santa and Mrs. Claus will be here, take pictures with the kids.
The Grinch.
The Grinch, I believe he's going to make an appearance.
Yeah, I think so.
We got stuff to hand out to the
If
kids.
we can catch you.
He's a sneaky little devil.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm sure like last year they had little activities and stuff for the kids to do, and that's the wives have been planning that. I haven't been privy to that yet.
I just show up, baby, where you need me.
We just pull the wagon. But it's going to be a fun time no matter what. We always have a blast. It gives me hope that the community can come together and help each other out. I've seen it. It's there. But what else we got going on? The 20th is our installation of officers.
Yep, we'll have an open installation. Anybody want to come out and you got questions about masonry, or if you've never been to Sam Todd, or you want to see what, all the secrets are, just come on out. We'll tell you about it. It's going to be swearing in. We'll leave about 6:30 and lodge open at 7:30. And, you ain't got to be a Mason to come watch the show. You can come watch, and we'll even let you in the secret room.
Yeah. Ooh. The secret room.
Bring your wife, your kids, and come see what it's about.
It's always a fun time.
If you are a Mason and you ain't been to Sam Todd, we'd love to have you. We got plenty of plural petitions. Just come on up.
Yeah.
Bring your wife, eat with us. Watch everybody get installed. We got a whole new officer team this year, minus the secretary. I'll be staying where I am.
You got that one locked down.
I look forward to another great year. We've had an awesome year this year at Sam Todd under the leadership of Worshipful Fox, and we're just going to continue going with the momentum that we got going.
That's it.
We hope
Yeah.
for a great year in
That's
2026.
I got faith it's going to happen. Well, we want to thank you again for tuning in with us and listen to these two old boys just tell it how we see it, I guess you can say. So before I go, I'm going to have to ask you to hit that like button, smack that subscribe button, whack that little bell. Until next time, we'll see you on the Living Level.